Hey everyone. So, let's talk about that Kevin Spacey video. The day before Christmas, police decided to announce that they were laying charges for sexual assault against well-known actor Kevin Spacey. On the same day, after a year of silence, Spacey uploaded a video called Let Me Be Frank, an obvious reference, along with the accent, to his recently killed-off character from House of Cards. The video was a wild success. It has over 8 million views, which could be expected, but more importantly, it has, at the time of this recording, 180,000 upvotes versus 53,000 downvotes. But you won't read about that part in the news. The most common word the media is using to describe the video is bizarre. But because no one's talking about the successful ratio of upvotes to down, we're left to wonder if it's bizarre because it was unexpected and bold, or bizarre because, obviously, many people liked it. Now, Kevin Spacey guessed at something, and by the metrics, he was right. We want him back. Let's walk through the video, and I'll tell you what I see and how I interpret it.
I know what you want.
Well, Kevin Spacey starts out by washing his hands, sighing and saying he knows what we want. There are two audiences watching right now, the people who want to destroy him and the people who want him back.
Oh, sure, they may have tried to separate us, but what we have is too strong, it's too powerful. I mean, after all, we shared everything, you and I. I told you my deepest, darkest secrets. I showed you exactly what people are capable of. I shocked you with my honesty, but mostly I challenged you and made you think.
By speaking as the evil character Frank Underwood, Spacey is acknowledging the conflation between the characters that actors play and the man himself. He's also addressing how the public loves to hate people.
And you trusted me, even though you knew you shouldn't.
Of course, no one trusted him to do anything other than deliver a great performance.
So we're not done, no matter what anyone says.
Just a quick note that a lot of people, especially other actors, are laughing at how Kevin Spacey's cup is obviously empty, and he didn't even fake a swallow as if there was liquid in it. But I ask those people to reflect on the fact that it's possible Kevin Spacey has intentionally mocked the fakeness of actors.
And besides, I know what you want. You want me back.
The upvotes indicate that Kevin Spacey is right, more than 3-1, and we will get to why he's right shortly.
Of course, some believed everything and had just been waiting with bated breath to hear me confess it all. They're just dying to have me declare that everything said is true and that I got what I deserved.
So now he's talking to those who like to make people famous so that they can get glee from shooting them down. Admit it. That's the power that regular people have. There are no celebrities without those who create them, and we like to keep them in check by saying, "We giveth and we taketh away." I worked in film, so I know exactly how this works.
Wouldn't that be easy if it was all so simple? Only you and I both know it's never that simple, not in politics and not in life. But you wouldn't believe the worst without evidence, would you? You wouldn't rush to judgments without facts, would you?
This is Kevin Spacey reminding people that judgment is not one-directional, something the current Twitter mobs like to ignore. And this is where it gets uncomfortable for a lot of people. But Kevin Spacey just judged you. And that's not the way this is supposed to work, right?
Did you? No, not you. You're smarter than that.
Are you smarter than that? That's what the vote buttons are for. And Kevin won that battle. Most people are smarter than that.
Anyway, all this presumption made for such an unsatisfying ending. And to think it could have been such a memorable send-off. I mean, if you and I have learned nothing else these past years, it's that in life and art, nothing should be off the table. We weren't afraid, not of what we said and not of what we did, and we're still not afraid.
Again, a reminder that life is not art. Kevin Spacey is not the character he played in any film or television show. and no one knows who he really is. I say that because everyone spends their life trying to figure themselves out. Art tries to pretend that we can make our own amorphous nature somehow solid, but it fails. People are complicated.
Because I can promise you this. If I didn't pay the price for the things we both know I did do, I'm certainly not going to pay the price for the things I didn't do.
This is a common trap for falsely accused people. They're expected to do a big laundry list of things that they actually did to show us that they're accountable and believable. Of course, we then won't remember what they were accused of because now we've got a new forced confession of other sins. It's a trap, one that Kevin Spacey is rejecting.
Oh, of course they're going to say I'm being disrespectful, not playing by the rules, like I ever played by anyone's rules before. I never did, and you loved it.
In fact, in 1997, Kevin Spacey was outed as gay in an unethically constructed article by Esquire magazine. What are the rules? Well, celebrities are supposed to allow the public to gossip about what they do with their genitals. And when a celebrity fails to comply, we punish them.
Anyhow, despite all the poppycock, the animosity, the headlines, the impeachment without a trial, despite everything, despite even my own death, I feel surprisingly good.
Here's where I start to cheer for Kevin Spacey. He has been murdered, and no one engaging in these horrendous public persecutions wants to take responsibility for what they are doing. Of course, Frank Underwood was killed off in House of Cards, and he's fictional, but despite being loath to acknowledge the murderous intent of these social justice mobs, they do want Kevin Spacey to die as well. I have personally witnessed these mobs celebrating an actual suicide in my home city of Vancouver, so I'm personally happy that Kevin Spacey is feeling surprisingly good right now. The thing that everyone with eyes can see is that people are sick of this shit. Look at the ratio of upvotes to down. We know there's something rotten going on, and the people who are cheering for Kevin Spacey right now are sick of being erased.
And my confidence grows each day that soon enough you will know the full truth.
There's good reason to interrupt that sentence. According to Washington Examiner, we don't need a trial because a journalist who lacks a law degree told us. Looks like a criminal court will have all it needs to find Mr. Spacey guilty. Why do we even pretend that there's a justice system anymore? Why do we need it?
Wait a minute. Now that I think of it, you never actually saw me die, did you? Conclusions can be so deceiving.
And we have not seen him die. Not only that, there's been no honest investigation or ability to hear both sides of the story.
Miss me?
The answer is yes. We miss people fighting back. So a quick rundown of why nobody should be convicting Kevin Spacey on social media based on the accusation he currently faces in court. The young man in this case is not a teenager, as is being reported. He's an adult who lied about his age. The 18-year-old didn't just say that he was 23, 2 years older than required to drink. Kevin Spacey was buying him drinks at the club where the young man accusing Mr. Spacey worked. So not only was this guy lying to Spacey, putting himself in a flirtation range, his own employers seem to have been part of the ruse. I think this young man was sexually mocking and baiting Kevin Spacey, even filming him for Snapchat videos in a form of gay bashing. After getting another employee to introduce him to the celebrity, he stayed for hours while his colleagues knowingly served him illegal alcohol, until the young man finally took off when his tomfoolery was going too far. I don't have evidence of that interpretation, but based on all available evidence, it makes a hell of a lot more sense than the story that this young man's mother is now pushing onto the public. At what point did it become okay to condemn gay men without a trial or civil rights? Seems like we're going backwards. I don't know Kevin Spacey, but I do know that I will not allow people to dehumanize and unperson anyone through social mobbing, and demand that we eliminate what we've learned over hundreds of years of devastating history in our so-called justice system. And the reason people are cheering for Kevin Spacey right now, well, it's because we're all sick of sitting by and watching our society being corrupted by phony morality police.